Hello class, my name is Mr. Baydun. Call me Mr. B for short, if you'd like. In today's lesson, I'll be presenting to you the American Revolution. Now this will be the first lesson, lesson number 1. So now, I'd like to start off by introducing the lesson to you. Our objective is going to be what events led to the War of American Independence. Some of the things that the students will be able to demonstrate is students will be able to list the reasons that led to the British raising taxes on the American colonies. Students will be able to list and name the forms of taxes which were imposed. Students will be able to discuss the events that led to the Boston Tea Party. And students will be able to participate in a collaborative learning environment. Now, the way that we will be able to assess, give me 1 second please. Okay. The way that we'll be able to assess or conduct an assessment is, what we're looking for is, how will you know concretely that all of your students have mastered the objective? So now, there's various forms in which we may conduct this assessment. First is the do now response. Second will be the aim elicitation. Third will be active participation in a collaborative learning exercise. 4 will be participation in summary discussion. And 5 will be the completion of an assigned homework. Now, I'd like to discuss with you the Common Core standards, reading standards for literacy and history social studies, grades 6 through 12. Excuse me. Okay, the first is cite specific textual evidence to support analysis of primary and secondary sources. The second will be determine the central ideas or information of a primary or secondary source. Provide an accurate summary of the source distinct from prior knowledge or opinions. Common Core Standard 3. Identify key steps in a text description of a process related to history social studies. 4. Determine the meaning of words and phrases as they are used in a text, including vocabulary words, which we will discuss. Many of these which we will discuss, including vocabulary words specific to domains related to history and social studies. Describe how a text presents information sequentially, comparatively, and causally. 6. Identify aspects of a text that reveal an author's point of view or purpose. 7. Integrate visual information, charts, graphs, photographs, videos, maps, with other information in print and digital texts. 8. Distinguish among fact, opinion, and reasoned judgment in a text. Critical thinking. 9. Analyze the relationship between a primary and a secondary source on the same topic. Ten. By the end of grade 8, read and comprehend history, social studies, text in the grades 7 through 8, text complexity, band independently and proficiently. Now, some of the materials that we'll be using are going to be the smartboard, several handouts of the textbook, and copies of the chapter in case the students do not have the textbook. So now, for our opening, it'll be, how will you focus, prepare, and engage students for the lesson's objective? We're going to do this by presenting initially the do now summary, or do now task. Okay, so now, the do now that I presented to the class, to you guys, is going to be, It is mandatory. It is by law mandatory for you to be enrolled in school. For this reason, you cannot legally drop out until you are of a certain age. Your parents, as well as the majority of American citizens, pay taxes in order for you to be enrolled in school. Due to the increasing costs of providing you with this free education, it is now no longer going to be free. Whether you complete school or not, you will now be charged an extra tax for the rest of your life in order to pay for your education. How does this make you feel? Do you believe that this is just or unjust? Please, class, take out your journals and in a minimum of 2 paragraphs, explain your answer. Okay, and great. Would anybody like to share your do now responses? Class, there's no right or wrong answers. This is just your answer, your perspective is what I'm looking for. Okay, Andrew, please share with the class. Okay, great response. Thank you. Okay, class, now I'm going to hand out Chapter 1. Here's Chapter 1. Chapter 1, please take one and pass it back. Take one and pass it back. Now I'd just like to open up Chapter 1. I'm going to begin with the first paragraph. Then I'd like for any volunteers to please raise your hand. And I'll call on you to read along. We're going to be conducting a read aloud together with the class now. The signing of the Peace of Paris in early 1763, which ended the 7-Year War, seemingly witnessed Britain at the zenith of its power. France and Spain had been checked in Europe, while Britain's naval superiority allowed her to make important gains in North America, the Caribbean, Africa, as well as India. To many English-speaking commentators, it seemed that Britain's empire was now comparable to that of ancient Rome. Huge. The only downside was the widespread resentment in Europe at Britain's success, especially in France, where the king's leading minister was already strengthening the French navy in preparation for another war. Okay, continue. Brian, thank you. Okay, let me finish off. Great job. Thank you for reading out loud. The quest began, therefore, for new resources of revenue. One that had not been tried before was taxation of the colonies of North America. During the war, British officers and officials had noticed how prosperous the colonists were. As one officer noted, everybody has property and everybody knows it. Among the white population, there is almost no poverty, since all enjoyed a decent income. Class, now please read the remainder of the chapter to yourselves. If you need any help, raise your hand. Get right over to assist you. Okay, great job, guys. Now, here's what I want you to do. Please list a brief history of Great Britain and some of the issues which Great Britain was facing. Do you believe that the British were right in raising taxes? Yes or no? Please be sure to expand on your answer. Don't just give me a yes or no answer. Give me an explanation of why you feel that they were just and why you feel that they were wrong. Second thing I'd like for you guys to answer is, did the colonists, Americans, have a right in boycotting and protesting against the British imposed taxes? Do you feel that they had a right to stand up for themselves and boycott? Were they standing up for themselves, or were they being rebellious unjustly? Once again, please, 1 to 2 paragraphs would be great. Okay, and now we have 4 focus questions, which I need everybody to answer. First question: what was the British justification for raising taxes on the American colonies? Question number 2: what were some of the taxes which were imposed? Question number 3: discuss the reaction of the colonial Americans. Question number 4: discuss the events that led to the Boston Tea Party. Everybody take 5 minutes. A little bit more if you need it. Check right back with you. Okay, great job, guys. Now, what I want you to do is, for question number 2, I want you to all team up into pairs, 2 to 3 students, and I want you to answer the question: did the colonist Americans have a right in boycotting and protesting against the British imposed taxes? Please get together, share your thoughts and ideas with your fellow classmate. Then, once you come to your conclusion, we're gonna go around the class and we're gonna share our answers. Remember, guys, there's no right or wrong answers. So we're gonna go around and get each of your group's perspectives. Now, as far as differentiation is concerned, what I would do is I would have the groups, as they come together, I would have some stronger students, some students who are stronger in a particular subject or area, group with the students who are feeling a little more challenged, who need a little bit more help and assistance. That's one form of differentiation in order to allow the students who are somewhat struggling to get an idea of what it takes to succeed in the classroom. Now I'd like to proceed to the closing. Closing will be: how will you have students summarize what they've learned? How will you reinforce the objective's importance and its link to past and future learning? So basically what we're going to do is review key points and questions. We are going to present an exit slip. How did this assignment or how did this lesson help you? What did you learn from this class? What did you take away? Give me one takeaway from this class. Before I leave you guys with this, class, before you go, please, I need you to jot down your vocabulary words, which are going to be Boston Tea Party, Stand Back, Colonist, Congress, and Parliament. So for homework, please define those words, put them into one sentence each, 1 or 2 sentences, which shows me that you understand the meaning of the word and that you're capable of using it in the correct context. And thank you.